I like to share an excellent guide for applying and or enhancing emotional intelligence in the workplace. This guide comes from emotional intelligence experts Cherniss, Goleman, Emmerling, Cowna, and Adler. And the guide best describes best practices for implementing emotional intelligence training and overall culture in 4 phases. The first phase is preparation. The second phase is training. The third phase is the transfer of the training. And the fourth phase is evaluation. But before we get into each phase, I do want to quickly introduce myself. I'm Tai Sawyer, the principal consultant of TM Sawyer Consulting, where we specialize in leadership development through emotional intelligence training. I help leaders outperform at their jobs using core emotional intelligence skills. So let's start with phase one. What comprises phase one? Phase one is preparation. And so when it's time to prepare for emotional intelligence training, these things should be going on. Assessing the organization's needs, assessing the organization's emotional intelligence needs, assessing the personal strengths and limitations of the employees who will be going through emotional intelligence training. Another component of preparation is providing feedback after assessing the needs, the personal strengths, and the limitations. You should also be encouraging participation and not requiring it. Another great way to prepare for emotional intelligence training is to link the emotional intelligence training and learning goals to personal values of those who will be participating in the emotional intelligence training. Another way to prepare is to adjust the expectations of increasing your EQ scores and how long that may take and the process involved. And then gauging the readiness of your not only your organization but also the employees within your organization. After phase one has happened, phase two begins. Phase two is the actual training. And within the training, you should plan to, of course, foster a positive relationship between the trainer and those who will be learning the emotional intelligence skills. You also want to maximize self-directed change. You want to make sure that those who are going through the training are self-directing. They have decided which area of emotional intelligence, which of the 4 distinct areas they would like to focus on, whether it's self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, or relationship management. During the training, you also want to set very clear and specific goals, not just for the organization, but for each employee or learner as well. And then not only that, you want to break those goals into manageable steps. There's no point in having a huge goal that you'll never be able to climb without breaking them down. During training, you also want to maximize the opportunities to practice emotional intelligence. There is a great relationship between learning and practicing, and for it to stick, you want to have opportunities where the learners can practice. In addition to that, you want to be able to provide frequent feedback on that practice. During training, you also want to build support in your staff, and you also want to building support in your staff is a great way to prevent relapse, because this prepares learners or those who are taking the EQ training. This prepares them for any mental slips or or any relapse that is bound to happen, because that's what happens when you are learning and practicing something. Phase 3 is all about transferring and maintaining the skills learning. So this phase happens after you've had a half day or full day or multi-day workshop. This happens after the training has happened. You want to make sure you build in opportunities for encouraging use of the skills learned on the job. So while the emotional intelligence training may have ended, the implementation of it should be just beginning. And this is because there is the organization at the first phase assess the needs of the organization and gauge the readiness to make sure that the organization was prepared and there's the right soil for encouraging the use of the EQ skills learned on the job. This includes providing an organizational culture that supports learning. It becomes very difficult to put something you've learned into practice if the workplace culture is not designed to support that. And phase 4 is focused on evaluating the change that has come from the training. In this phase, there should be ongoing evaluation research, not just with the training and the effectiveness of the skills developed by the learners, but also you should be evaluating the effectiveness of the actual training programs, whether they're internal or conducted by a coach or consultant externally. Now, those are the 4 phases for implementing emotional intelligence in the workplace. At TM Sawyer Consulting, we are here to help you follow these guidelines so you can maximize your chances of spearheading a successful emotional intelligence training program in your organization. And so I want to thank you for tuning in to this short video. I hope to see you next time.